Shutterstock Music.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Black College Experience. I am one half of your Black College Experience team, Derek Thomas in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we have on with us in Atlanta the founder and CEO of Black College Experience, the one and only Keisha Kelly.
Hi, everybody.
What's going on, bud?
It is another great weekend in Black College sports. Looks like we are winding down. Baseball looks like it's coming to an end.
Yes.
Well,
really.
for the SWAC, we know, it's some stuff going on as far as track and field and other conferences, but baseball is coming to an end.
Yes, indeed. Is that where we want to start with NCAA baseball regionals? What was that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we want to welcome my line brother Patrick Perry to the show. How you doing, PP?
All right.
Yes, indeed. How's your weekend going, Fred?
I can't complain.
Well, first off, we're going to start off with the NCAA baseball regionals. And the Southern Jaguars were again matched up with Mississippi State. And for everyone who knows me, yes, I'm a graduate of an HBCU, but I've been a fan of Mississippi State since I was 9 years old. And I'm awful torn when Mississippi State plays an HBCU. Me and I know Kels gets frustrated with me, a little bit when the women played in the basketball. Because, yes, unfortunately, I was rooting for my Lady Bulldogs. But I was glad to see the Southern Lady Jags play hard. And that is exactly what Mississippi State got from the Southern Jaguars baseball team. Kels, when I got off work, I saw posts on social media, and the Mississippi State fans were upset and angry. They were afraid the Jaguars had the lead and were beating up on Mississippi State. Kerrick Jackson and your Jags were on the verge of a monumental upset in the Starkville Regional. Southern already beaten LSU earlier in the year. That's been Mississippi State's nemesis. So I knew coming into this game, the Jaguars had a chance against Mississippi State because Mississippi State has not played well in spurts, and your Jaguars came in hot, fresh off that SWAC championship. Unfortunately, the HBCU World Series got canceled, but they played a couple tune-up games, so they were ready for Mississippi State. And, talk about what you think about the performance of your Jaguars in that game.
Well, I'll start with this. I am who I am, and we're all going to be entitled to our own opinions, but I say it once, I say it twice, and I'll say it 100 more times. I don't care if you're the smallest of the small HBCU, the largest of the large. I personally, I'm born and raised Alabama A&M. I've been around Alabama and Auburn, but when there's an HBCU in the game, I don't care what I've rooted for. I will never root against the HBCU. Never have, never will. It's just not in my blood to root against our school. That being said, with my team, with the game that they put up on a Friday was just, it was moving beyond words, which would probably explain yesterday's loss, but it was moving beyond words. They put up a lot of work, a lot of fight, a lot of effort. And for people that don't understand why we saw the things that we saw and why we were so happy, it's because when you go from being on a ban to coming back to not winning 9-10 games and then coming back to being the SWAC champions, to having the coach of the year, doing all of that in a turnaround season for baseball, 2 years, you turn around the season like that, it means a lot. It means a lot. So, again, I don't care who, no matter what. I'm going to always put my school, any HBCU up against whoever. I don't care who they playing. I don't care what I'm used to or who I used to like. I'm going to always put my school up against, or whoever school up against that team. And they showed competition and they showed heart on Friday. It's evident when you're going 0-1, then 1-1, and then you're going somewhere in there where you go 4-2, and then you go 4-4, then you go 6-4, and then that's pretty much where, it just kind of came apart there, where it went 9-6, and it just kind of, some mistakes there, but nevertheless, proud of what they did and proud of Coach Jackson, to say the least.
Right. Well, when Mississippi State tied, when Southern tied the game at 4, I'm sorry, when Mississippi State took the lead 6-4, Southern had a 2-run homer by Jay Johnson and brought in 2 runs. That tied the game at 6. I saw that home run. It was a nice shot. It was pretty. I was like, oh, my God, he done hit a home run. So, and unfortunately, that was the end of the scoring for the Jags, and they end up falling 11-6. But not before they put scares and a lot of Mississippi State fans on that game. And up next, the Jags face the Miami Hurricanes, and the Miami Hurricanes probably took advantage of a weary Southern team to beat the Jags 12-2. But the Jags did not give up. They scored both their runs in the 9th innings. That lets you know they were still fighting, because we all know, I played baseball growing up. We all know it ain't over till it's over. You put those rally caps on, and you can easily get on a run. And that ended the run of the Southern Jaguars at the Starkville Regional. But it was a successful season for the Jags. I mean, who would have thought that Southern would win the SWAC championship in Coach Kerry Jackson's second year? I mean, Kels, just talk more about what this season means to you with Coach Jackson, replacing the legend Roger Cador, and then starting to build a strong team with the Southern Jaguars baseball.
Again, coming off of those bans, something that you can talk about, when we were facing those NCAA sanctions, you talk about going back, not even a 5-year time frame. You talk about 2 years, 2 years, 2-3 years, and you see that, and you see a turnaround season, and you see that you were the bottom of the barrel with the SWAC when you're used to being in the top of the conference, and then you go to being in the bottom, and you're not competing, and then to see a turnaround and to hear Coach Jackson say, he's not only, he's not building just a championship team, but he's also building men. So you're molding these guys into be great men, great baseball players, and you're doing it in such a way where it's like game by game by game. And even when people doubted the team, even when people doubted, oh, you can't beat a LSU, or you can't beat a New Orleans, or you can't beat certain teams, is amazing when you can come out of those games and you turn it around and you beat those teams that you were, of course, picked against. They think that the other teams can do it. So when they turn the season around like that, only thing you can say is even if you came out with a 12-2 loss, even if you came out with an 11-6 loss in those last 2 games in the regionals, you made it to where you were going. And then you can only be proud of them because they showed a lot of hard effort, a lot of work. And that just means that next year they're going to be back fighting to do more to improve.
Exactly, and I have to let you know this. I kind of dropped the ball on this, but we're going to try to get this young lady to come on and tell her story. Speaking of the Southern Jaguars baseball team, the other day I was on Twitter doing my thing, just browsing around, and I saw one of your alums, Natasha Haynes, having a Twitter battle with an LSU fan, talking bad about Southern University baseball. And Miss Haynes did not back down. She battled him and said, well, y'all took a loss on the bluff. And, of course, the guy tried to, well, that was a midweek game. She was like, it doesn't matter. We beat y'all. And then he was just talking bad about Southern. And Miss Haynes held up for her Jags. Made me think about you, Kels, how passionate she was. And, I did talk to her about maybe, coming on and just talking about her experience as a Jaguar, because she was actually a trainer for Southern. So she worked with athletics, and, I think it was so great for her to just, not back down and not take second fiddle to the LSU fan who was trying to down Southern, talking about, oh, you all can't hit SEC pitching. And then she said, well, we hit it enough against you guys, so, that's SEC pitching for you. So I want to give kudos to Ms. Haynes. for showing her HBCU pride and her Jaguar pride, for just not backing down from the LSU Tiger fan. So, we want to wish Coach Jackson well as he continues to build the Jaguars into a winning program. Well, he's already built them into a winning program, but a continuously winning program like Coach Kador did. We know he's not going to do it like Coach Kador. He can do it in his own way. But for him to be where he is now in year 2, you have A.D. Banks already trying to get him a raise. I mean, I wish I could have got a raise in year 2 when I came back to the state. That's great when you can get talked about getting a raise in year 2, and it's deserving. I mean, it's definitely deserving, Kels. I believe he deserves a nice, healthy raise for the turnaround and the season that the Jaguars had this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So moving on to the other HBCU that was playing in the college baseball championship in the Atlanta regional, the FAMU Rattlers, in the first game, they lost to 3 seed Coastal Carolina 9-4. I'm sorry, that's the second game. The first game, they lost to 1 seed Georgia Tech 13-2. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. And that put FAMU in the losers bracket for the next game against Coastal Carolina, and they lost that game 9-4, and that eliminated the Rattlers from postseason contention. And the Rattlers, finished the season with a losing record, but they won the MEAC championship, and that earned them the right to play in this regional. Unfortunately, they weren't able to put up much of a fight in this regional, but it's great to see our HBCU teams battling it out as best they can. And that means Florida A&M has a chance to come back next year and battle it out. So what do you think about the Rattlers' performance in their regional, Kels?
We had a really strong presence on Friday. We did. I got a chance to. It was actually sold out. When I make the joke, it's good to know people, I actually mean it's good to know people. Because somebody came through with a ticket and was like, "Hey, you want to go watch FAMU and Georgia Tech?" So that was like, okay, last minute type. Okay, we're going to the game. It was FAMU showed up. They showed up. They actually brought buses down. I want to say they brought a bus or 2 down. So that all you see was orange and green. They actually, they had some moments, but there was just one moment where, and I want to say they might have switched pitchers 5 times, but oh God, the first pitcher might have went 4 or 5 innings before they retired him. I think I want to say, I don't know if they said 130 pitches, but we're here like, come on, you gotta switch the pitchers, you gotta switch the pitchers. So, but that's, like I told them, this is the first and the only time I will be out there hollering like that for a Rattler. Once it comes down to September, all of that changes, but on Friday night, it was definitely an opportunity. Very, very good to see that many people. I mean, and Georgia Tech was hospitable. It's a very nice atmosphere, very nice. I mean, nice baseball setup. But it was good to see them, still trying to battle it out despite them losing on Friday.
Right, PP. What do you think about Southern's and FAMU's performances in the college baseball championship in the regionals that they played in?
I expected Southern. I expected them to kind of play hard against Mississippi State, even though they didn't throw their number 1 pitcher. So,
right, I expected.
I expected them to play hard. I expected they beat LSU, so of course I picked them to compete and stuff like that. And I guess the FAMU game. Not the FAMU game. The game they played against Miami. I guess everything just fell apart in that game because they threw their number 1 pitcher in that game. And I guess it just came back to backfire. So, it was still a good season for them. And not that I just saw about Banks trying to, give him an extension or whatever, because he got to do that because hope some bigger schools don't try to come in and try to snatch him up.
Hope
go
so.
ahead and try to lock him down.
Hope not. We need Coach Jackson to stay at Southern continue to build on this amazing turnaround season. And I mean, the SWAC has always played some good baseball. I haven't really followed the MEAC much in baseball, but I know the SWAC has always had some tough teams in baseball. You know, we had
looking at the MEAC, Bethune-Cookman. Well, that's one of the prime examples when they beat Ohio State, North Carolina A&T. So it's some competitive teams in the MEAC.
Yeah, they did have those upsets, and it's good when we can get those upsets over any team that they don't expect us to beat. So congratulations to all the HBCU teams that defeated a higher ranked or upper tier school this season, because you represent it. It's just something to see, you know, and hopefully, like Coach Brady was saying, we can get more players playing baseball and just continue to build a sport in the HBCU ranks. And maybe one day we'll get a team to advance and, you know, just wreck shop in the College World Series. I would love to see an HBCU win the College World Series, because I think out of the three biggest sports, baseball, basketball, and football, baseball is where we have our best chance at winning a national championship, in my opinion. You know, basketball being the second sport, and then, of course, football, where even if we had a strong team, we wouldn't get it. Well, we can play for a HBCU national championship, but the national championship, you know, we wouldn't even get a chance to play for because of the division that we're in. We would have to move up to FBS. And who knows, maybe an HBCU will move up to FBS one day. That would be something to see, huh, Kels?
It would, but let's go ahead and take a commercial break right here.
All right. We'll be right back with more Black College Experience in 31 seconds.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, you know, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's going to happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
All right, we're back with more Black College Experience. And, Kels, since we were talking about the SWAC, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was looking at your sheet and my sheet, and we both had this article. And last week we talked about my sorority sister and my alma mater having their first woman band director. Grambling State University has also named their first woman lead band director, Dr. Nicole Roebuck.
Correct.
Kels.
Well, before we talk about Dr. Roebuck, let's go back to Mississippi Valley, because of course we weren't on last week, and so I didn't get a chance to really get a chance to highlight that. And that's one of the things, as we don't want to overlook anybody. You know, we don't want to overlook anybody in this case, because it's major, especially when you're talking about women making these kind of moves. It's major. And I don't care what school it is. It's like when it's a woman in charge of a band, it's major. So if you want to highlight, because I know I didn't, like, I saw it, but I didn't really get a chance to really go into depth about it.
PP, take it away, Bara Sarah.
Yeah, okay. She was the first. What is it? She was the first. What is it? First in SWAC history. She came in. She had 6 years of assistant band director experience, and she did it at 2 HBCUs. She did it at Oklahoma, and then came to Dallas for a couple of years, I guess, to wait until Mr. Milton retired. And it was just big. I mean, on social media, everybody was, I guess some people were disappointed about the other guy that they're getting hired, but being the first,
going to Texas,
it was
good.
Yeah, it was much. I mean, the right hire was made because it would made a much bigger deal on social media as far as being the first female band director in swag history. I mean, and then I ain't gonna say it led to what happened to at Grambling, but I can say it no doubt played a factor in it. I mean, when they seen what happened at Valley, I guess it just made much sense to just continue with somebody that hire in-house, somebody that knows the campus, so they don't have to come in and get reacclimated to the HBCU environment, stuff like that. You go and hire somebody in-house that makes sense, you know.
And both of these women are alums of their respective bands, right? I know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, now Dr. Roebuck, I don't know much about her. I don't follow bands as much as most people. Would have been nice if we could have got my sorority sister Portia on here, who's a former member of the World of Fame, just to talk about what she thinks about this. She's also my sorority sister. I'm pretty sure she's happy. I can't wait to see how these ladies lead their bands. Hopefully they'll be able to add their own, I guess you can say, flair to the bands. Because I know, what's your former band director? I forgot his name, Kels. Hamer definitely added his own flair to the Southern Jaguars band. And now he's going to take his talents to Texas Southern. So hopefully these ladies will definitely get a chance to add their own flair to the way that they want to lead the band. So I can't wait to see it. I think it's great. I think music is an industry where women definitely should be able to lead. It shouldn't always be a man directing a band. I mean, and that's mostly what you see, men directing bands. But you also have women who are choreographers when it comes to the dancing girls. You have women who are section leaders. You have women who are drum majors. So why not have a woman leading a band that she loves, a band that she, was a part of, and a band that she's connected to. So I think this is great to have these young women leading these bands. And I want to see it more across the HBCU landscape, not just in the SWAC. I want to see it elsewhere also. Probably is elsewhere also. It's just these schools are.
Yeah, the person that she replaced, Dr. Simon, the former assistant band director of Valley, she's at Clark Atlanta. So she actually was the first, female band director because this is at Clark Atlanta. But,
Okay. Thank you for that, PP. Hopefully we see that more across the board. Go ahead, Kels.
I know. I was just going to add to that and just saying, we're starting to see more of these first. So, it is again, and it's, we're starting to see it not only just with HBCUs, but we're just starting to see more women dominate sports, dominate these positions that have been held by men for a long time. So it's just good to see when you see women coming in, not just being coaches, but they're owners, they're being head of this, they're being chair of this, they're being president of this, CEO of this. So it's just good to see those type of things happening for women, and not just women. I'm going to take it a little bit further, women of color. When you see women of color that's running these things and they're doing these things, it's major, and we do. You have to pause and celebrate those things because for so long we didn't have a voice. And I say it often, we're no longer asking for a seat at the table. We're bringing the table, and we're bringing the blueprint, and we're bringing some extra teammates. We're not asking you for your permission. We don't come to the table as we want to come to the table. And it is. It's just a great thing.
And here's the thing. Men have always coached in women's sports, coached women. So I would have no problem having a woman coach me if I was playing sports. It's not for me to question her because she's the coach. She's the coach for a reason. So, we have women becoming coaches in the NFL. who knows? Maybe we might have a woman become a head coach in the SWAC or at an HBCU for football, or head coach for men's basketball. I mean, you know me, Kels. I am an avid supporter of women's hoop sports or women's sports, period.
Right.
So I would probably do a hallelujah if that ever happened. You know, to see, especially with me being good friends with two of the current head coaches, women's coaches in the SWAC, Don Brown and Tamika Reed. Who knows? Maybe one of them may end up coaching men's basketball in the SWAC. Who knows? I would love to see it.
So flipping off of that and going straight into the MEAC, I do. I want to hop into this. Let's hop into this. Talking about this kid, Randolph Walsh, that opted from going to all of these other schools that he had offers to come run track at North Carolina A&T. And I do. A lot of times people don't really, when we prematurely comment and we don't really know the story or we don't really know the background or the history, it kind of makes you look crazy. So when and I know everybody probably saw the video, when he announced where he was going, he didn't just do like a general announcement. He just unzipped his jacket and displayed the North Carolina A&T shirt. And it was a lot of people that had an issue with where he chose to say, I'm going to further what I'm doing by going to North Carolina A&T. Well, here's the thing. You got a nationally ranked team. The teams are just blowing everybody out of the
Kayla
water.
White.
And I'm saying left and right. They're blowing people. You're getting regional honors. The assistant coach was the coach of the year. You got Kayla White that's over there that's just competing, getting all kind of awards. So to see that happen and see so many people not really understanding, it wasn't. There was a guy, and I was so ashamed. I was laughing, but I was so ashamed. He said, we were talking about North Carolina A&T, a couple of us on Twitter, and, we can kind of tell the swag men, we can kind of tell the people that know what they're talking about in conversation. And so, for the life of me, that night I could not think of Patrick, like his Twitter handle, because I would have tagged him in it, but I could not think of the name. This guy said something about, they were saying something about D1, and he was like, oh, no, North Carolina A&T ain't D1, they're MEAC. So we're sitting there laughing. We laughed. I was laughing, but I was like, oh, my God. And so we were always like, well, what do you, and we were like, he was like, nah, they're not D1, they're the MEAC conference. We was like, well, what do you think that is? And he was literally arguing with us. I was laughing, but I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh, my God, please. So just to see that, it just showed, because there was some people on there from Oregon State, people on North Carolina, that understood. And I'm like, just to see that, it just let me know that people don't understand it. They think because we're HBCUs, we're lower than. And I interviewed a kid yesterday, a young man from Florida State that's going to play football at Southern, and he was saying how they think because we're HBCUs that we're second class, that we don't know, that we can't compete. Now, to hear an 18, 19-year-old or 18, 17, 18-year-old say that, you're not even in college yet, he understands mentally, because, of course, he had offers from other schools, but he understands. So back to Randolph. What do y'all think about his whole decision to go to North Carolina A&T and pass up the other programs that he passed up, the Iowa State, maybe Ohio, the schools that he passed up?
Well, I'm glad that he chose to go to North Carolina A&T. This is a young man, I guess, who gets it. He feels like he can excel at track and field and go pro from an HBCU in track and field just as much as he can at those other schools. I don't necessarily know if he has a family link to North Carolina A&T, but I know he's from North Carolina, so that probably played a major factor. Probably wanted to stay close to home, or he probably wanted to have a black college experience. And we all know you can't get that at those bigger schools because the black college experience is unique. across all of our institutions is unique. So if that's what he wanted, that's what he wanted. It doesn't matter the big schools coming to offer. If he wanted a black college experience, that's what he chose to have. And with North Carolina A&T having a nationally ranked track team, I mean, he couldn't have chosen a better HBCU to go to for track and field success. PP?
Yeah. Oh, okay. First off, his father is the coach at A&T. Well, not the coach. He's the AD.
Okay. That's the connection.
Yeah. Okay. And number two, like you said, people get on social media and just be talking and don't know what they be saying. Like, A&T is a top 10 program right now at this point. And if you look at the regional results from Jacksonville last week, it showed the reason why. Because them and Coppin State had a whole lot of like people winning or in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah. I actually have those up there too.
Because they're still doing stuff. They're still competing.
Right. Rodney Rowe out of NCAA, Joseph Amore out of Coppin State. That's in the 100. In the 200, you got Amore again. In the 200, you have Akeem Sirleaf out of NCAA, and then you have Rodney Rowe again in the 200. Let's see, who else do I see on here? Trevor Stewart in the 400 out of North Carolina A&T. I mean, I'm not going to name them all, but, I mean, HBCUs are well represented in these heats to win national championships.
They're top 10 program. The other schools, I think they're like a little bit above 20, and the other school was like the same area, South Carolina. I mean, Ohio State, people say, why he turned down Ohio State? Ohio State is not even a ranked program in track. So he'd be lowering his standards by choosing a name over A&T. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, people just get on social media. I mean, they automatically assume, HBCU, he didn't want to compete, or he just something like that.
Well, they're about to see.
They just make themselves look
this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just to run down some of the women, of course, the incomparable Kayla White from North Carolina A&T, Kiara Grant from Norfolk State, Cambria Sturgis from North Carolina A&T, Kamaya Debos Elks from North Carolina A&T. She's running the 400 meters. Tori Ray, North Carolina A&T, 400 meters. And just a plethora of HBCU standouts, hoping to take home some of these national championships and show that HBCUs can kick your butt. And I can't wait to see it happen. So this young man is showing. Maybe this will cause a domino effect in football, Kills, and basketball as well, for some of these highly touted athletes to choose HBCUs over Power 5 or Group of 5 schools, where the chance to get on the field, get on the court, and compete earlier is there. If you're talented enough, why should you have to sit the bench for 2-3 years? Get on the field now, showcase your ability, get on the court now, showcase your shooting, get on the field now, showcase your overall athletic ability, compete against the schools that you could have chosen, and then the championship on the biggest stage, and beat them. And there you have your pro contract. Boom, there you have it. Kudos to this young man for following his heart and doing what a lot of people feel like was the wrong decision, but it was the right decision for him. And he's going to show them in the end, the next 3 to 4 years, when he finishes with a couple of MEAC championships and hopefully a couple of national championships, that, you know what, I showed y'all, proved y'all wrong. Kels?
And I agree. No matter what what happens is going back to what Patrick was saying. People they just hop on social media. They have no clue, and the only thing they see is HBCU. And it was I even had to educate a young lady from Livingstone. She's talking about how other people get recruited or they get drafted and we don't have them. And I was like, well, did you take a look at this year's draft because we had this person drafted at this? And, it's like when you have those conversations, she ended up blocking me because once I started really laying out the facts, then it was just like, you can't be – it's one thing to be ignorant to the fact when you don't know. But when somebody puts the facts in front of you, you still choose not to acknowledge it, I have a problem with that. So you can't belittle your own people or your own institutions and then think people are going to respect you. No, that's not fair. That's not how that works.
I agree with you. I mean, it's funny you brought up the draft, because that's actually one topic I want to talk about was the newest SWAC millionaire, Mr. Howard, signed his contract with the Texans. And, he's 4 years, $12 million, fully guaranteed. Man, I mean, that ought to let you know, hey, I could go to Jackson State. I can go to Southern. I can go to Grambling, even go to Valley. Because Valley, we have a young man, Mr. Jones, playing defensive tackle for the Rams right now. And, Valley, we're not known for winning in football right now. But what this man did on the field, he got noticed. He posted on Facebook during his journey with the Rams, got a chance to meet the incomparable Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, he's living the dream right now. Even if he doesn't make the Rams, he's living the dream right now, all because of his performance playing on the HBCU football fields at Mississippi Valley State University. And I think he has a good chance to make the Rams. The Rams let go Ngam Sue. And, hey, you need some youngsters in there, some young, hungry defensive linemen. And I just show kudos to those young men. Howard being the next SWAC millionaire. Hopefully we can get him on Black College Experience one day just to talk about how he became a offensive tackle from a quarterback / tight end. I want to hear that story, Kels. What about you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a lot of good stories that's out there that have yet to be told, and I think that's one of them.
Most definitely. And, we want to get all SWAC athletes. We not just the ones that were drafted. Any SWAC athlete that wants to come on and tell their story. I mean, tell us about your Black College experience on the playing fields and courts and track fields or tennis courts or golf courses. I mean, we want to hear your story. That's what we're here for. We're here for you. But I like hearing those stories when I get a chance to meet people who play football, like Mr. Fleming in the SWAC Sports Central group. Let me know that he played baseball for Grambling during a time where I wasn't even being thought about being born. He was just running down some of his stories and some of the legends that he knew. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. SWAC history right here in front of my face, and I didn't even know it. So it's just good to find those individuals who, I guess you can say we're trailblazers in the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? We've already had one trailblazer in the SWAC, Coach Brady, and also Coach Billups, old school SWAC, HBCU players. So in baseball and basketball, respectively. So we have legends. We have people who've performed. The greatest, our frat brother PP and chapter frat, Jerry Rice, and Tytus Howard, and Dara Johnson are going to be the next trailblazers from the SWAC to try to carry that torch. Of course, Howard, first-round draft pick, the only first-round draft pick from the SWAC this year or an HBCU, and the rest were seventh-round draft picks. But, hey, we know Tom Brady was a sixth-round draft pick. So we know it don't matter where you draft. All that matters is when you get in camp and perform. And these young men are going to do that. And hopefully they'll be able to stick around. And Danny, your Jag, Kels, he's still with the Redskins working his tail off to break into that too deep for the Redskins secondary. So I was just looking at their roster the other day, and I was checking up on him. And, it seems like he's going to be doing pretty good this year, playing special teams and continuing to vie for playing time in the Redskins defense.
It is. It's going to be interesting to see, of course, what this upcoming season holds. Not only for him and a lot of other players that are, looking for that. Because, they're still naming and still doing a lot of things. But, again, we are – a lot of things are coming up, which is going to take me straight over to the SEAC.
Oh, yeah.
SEAC Media Day coming up on July 9th. Again, it's at the College Football Hall of Fame. I feel like my name is going to be on the door. I've been in the College Football Hall of Fame so many times. And it's nothing new to me. So I always go in there and watch the same thing over and over and over again. But it is, again, it's one of those places that if you're in Atlanta, you have to stop by. You have to see it. Of course, if you're a sports person, you definitely have to go by and see it. And every college football helmet is housed in the College Football Hall of Fame. You walk in, so that's where everybody stops to look at all the helmets. And I found Southern. I found basically all of our helmets on the thing. Like, I went through and found all of our helmets on the thing. But again, July 9th, the College Football Hall of Fame, the SEAC, very excited to see what's going to be going on. Of course, there is just one coaching change, and that's going to be with Clark Atlanta. So I'll be excited to meet their coach for the first time. Everybody else is pretty constant. I will get a chance again to sit down with Coach Freeman, have that conversation to kind of see like where they went wrong in the second half of their season. Talk to Miles' Coach Ruffin, to see how they actually did what they did in their season. So,
yes.
It is always exciting to get a chance to talk to these. And the thing is that you get a chance to basically see these people before everybody else. So it's kind of introducing the teams and just, releasing the schedule. One of the things that I'm truly excited about is that Morehouse and Alabama A&M will be playing in Canton, Ohio. And I'm trying to wiggle my way. I'm trying to see who wants me to act like I'm a coach for the weekend, because I would love to be in that number with Morehouse going up to Ohio.
Sneak on the bus, Kel. Sneak on the bus.
If I could sneak on the bus, I would definitely sneak on the bus. And while we're there, I know we were talking about the Bill Walsh coaching fellowship, and I did here at Morehouse. Rich Freeman, which is the head coach for Morehouse, he's going to be, like, he was selected by the Atlanta Falcons. And this is actually the second time for him. The wide receivers coach from Morehouse is going to your team, Derek, to the
yes.
Kansas City Chiefs. And then Don Nelson is the run game recruiting coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then, of course, for Grambling, Ken Nord, who's that quarterback coach for the Bills.
Mm-hmm. Well, quarterback coach for Grambling going to be with the Bills, yeah.
So I think this is really major when you start looking at where these are opportunities for our coaches.
Most definitely.
And I think these should open up more doors for them, like when they want to transition into other parts of their careers, like if they want to go outside of this. These are things that I think these are very great opportunities for HBCU coaches, because they get to see another side. Because even if, they're in HBCUs, and they might, they could easily go to, to these Power 5 conferences. They can go to other conferences, but you're learning all the skills and everything from an NFL coach, from an NFL, so to speak, program. So I think these are really great opportunities for these coaches. What do y'all think?
PP?
Yeah, I think that anytime they can get access to the highest level, because that's what everybody sees the NFL as. Whatever information, whatever little tricks, info, whatever they can get from them, they can bring it back to their prospective campuses and implement it into their programs, and give whatever players they think have a chance at making it to the highest level. They can say, hey, I got this NFL experience. I got this information from the NFL, so I know what it would take. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I think this is great. And I'm pretty sure out of the 4 names that we have, pretty sure there's more names that have been submitted for this Bill Walsh Coaching Fellowship. And once we get the more HBCU names, we're definitely going to let you know about them. But I think this is an outstanding opportunity to further your coaching knowledge, to further your coaching networking tree as well. Because we all know in the business of coaching, it's about who you know and also your ability to coach the position and also motivate the players. So this is a great opportunity for coaches at the HBCU level. Even if you're not a head coach, you get a chance to further your knowledge, learning from, I guess you can say, the big boy, like PP said, the highest level of professional football in the United States, and football totally, in my eyes. I just marvel. I'm thankful for these opportunities that these coaches will get to add knowledge to their repertoires, and also bring the knowledge back and showcase this knowledge to their players and get quality feedback. I just think it's an amazing event to put on, and I'm just thankful for the HBCU coaches that are going to get a chance to participate. And since we're in the SEAC, we have a triple jump national championship champion from Albany State, Cervantes Jackson, captured the NCAA triple jump national championship. This is the 3rd national championship captured by Cervantes. See, there you have it, national champion for Division II at Albany State. So congratulations to that young man on his 3rd national championship. Oh, I can't wait to see what he does when his college career is over in the track game. I think he's going to represent himself and HBCUs very well as a professional track athlete. All right. So, also, jumping back into this female-led discussion, there's a lady who is now the new associate. What's that? Kels? Or PP, is that you or Kels?
Not me.
We get some feedback. Mute your phone, please. 1 second, y'all. PP? Yeah, that was PP losing connection.
No, that was Karen.
Keisha?
No, not me. No, that's not me.
Well,
I don't know what that was.
I don't have no background nowhere.
Maybe that was someone that snuck in and I didn't see it. But either or, let me scroll up to this. Kenyatta Walker is named Associate AD for Alabama A&M. That was somebody on. Yeah, who do we have on? 225, Erica 225, last 4, 8909. You're on with the Black College Experience. Who we have?
Good evening. How y'all doing?
Willie Scott.
Willie.
Man, what's going on?
What's going on? How you
Man,
doing?
it's been a long time, brother. We got some catching up to do. How have you been, man?
I've been great. It's been a long time, man. Y'all invite me when y'all.
You don't need an invite. You can call in anytime we have a show. You know that, Willie. Yes, indeed. But we're gonna get with Willie in just a second. The new associate athletic director at Alabama A&M is Kenyatta Walker, announced by athletic director Brian Hicks. Has been named the associate athletic director of academics and senior women's administrator. What that means to me, Kels, is very soon this young lady will be leading her own athletic department. Hopefully at an HBCU. She comes to Huntsville after spending the past 2 years at Prairie View, where she served as the primary athletics academic advisor for the Panthers football, men's basketball, baseball, volleyball, softball, and men's track and field programs. And before she joined Prairie View, she spent 2 years at West Virginia, serving as the academic coordinator for the Mountaineers football, wrestling, and tennis programs. So she has experience across the board. I would love to see her stay at Alabama A&M, get some more experience, and then who knows, she may become a lady administrator for an HBCU. So, Kels, like you say, what's your favorite thing about female? The what is female?
The future is female.
Yes,
the future
indeed.
is definitely female.
Now, Willie Scott, what do we owe this visit? Talk to us. How have you been, man?
I've been wonderful.
Willie, I thought you was gonna call in at 6:20, Willie.
Hey, I'm driving, yo. Driving.
Yeah, you drive.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, what's up, Willie? You calling to talk about the Jags baseball, or you got some football news for us? What kind of HBCU news do you have for us tonight?
Well, Keisha wanted to talk about baseball.
Talk about what?
Baseball.
Okay, well, we've already covered that, but we have you here. So what do you think about your Jaguars' performance against Mississippi State?
Mississippi State game was a very good game. It was, the score does not tell the tale of the actual game itself.
That's true.
The game itself was a lot closer, if you know anything about baseball. As far as hits, errors, runs, it was a lot closer. Our closing pitcher, Connor Welling, which was named the SWAC Relief Pitcher of the Year, had a 0 ERA going into this game. And the first earned runs against him was in the ninth inning in the Mississippi State game. This kid has thrown over 100 or so pitches throughout the season and never had a hit on him until the Bulldogs, Mississippi State, got the first hits and runs on him. The baseball program in January was picked to finish 9th in the conference. And we all know the tale of that story from worst to first. It's probably one of the historical stories in the college baseball program history ever, actually. From winning 9 games the first year of a new head coach, they're taking over for a historical head coach of Roger Kadar of 30-plus years at Southern University with over 17 or so SWAC championships and tons of players to play Major League Baseball. Well, Coach Jackson came in last year and took over from Coach Kadar, and we had APR problems. We had all kinds of problems and issues that under his leadership and his staff has completely turned around in one season. You don't find a better story in any sport, actually, than that one.
I agree with you. And as Southern was racking up the wins, Kels noticed, I noticed, and we were like, wow, what a turnaround. I mean, to have the season he had his first year, coming in, getting his feet wet at a SWAC institution, and then to just take the SWAC by storm the second year. I mean, this just bodes well for the future of the Southern Jaguars baseball program. And then, Alabama State has been ruling the SWAC, from a roost that Southern didn't just knock them off of, they kicked them off of with a shutout. I was not expecting that.
Well, the thing about that, Derek, those two programs have never played this year. So neither program had any experience against each other. Southern actually, the SWAC championship game was actually that Saturday when they played Texas Southern. Because Texas Southern was the 2-time reigning SWAC tournament champion. If Texas Southern would have beat the Jaguars and went on to beat Alabama State on that Sunday, they would have had a three-peat for the tournament championship.
Right. Thank you for correcting me.
So we all know how that story ended. Texas Southern actually had the Jags down on that Friday night, and the Jags stormed back on the Thursday. Stormed back to take the lead in the 9th inning off a home run to start the 9th inning off by senior right fielder Ashanti Wheatley. And it just went from there. The story of Coach Jackson, and I tell people, and we talked about it in Starksville in a meeting on Thursday.
Willie? I think we lost Willie. He is driving, and hopefully we'll be to get him back.
So there he is.
Willie, you back?
Yes.
Okay. Man, you need to get you a sat phone, man.
Oh, man, y'all talking about my government phone?
Well, go ahead talking about Coach Jackson.
But his humility and character will take this program a long way. And I will say this, you can put your notice that he said it himself in his speech, that Jaguar baseball is back. We had the grace of Ricky Weeks join the team this weekend in Starksville. And Ricky's message to the team before the game on Friday was go out, play clean baseball, and have fun. And those are the things that Ricky was taught throughout his career from Roger Kadar to the majors. Is go out, play clean baseball, and have fun. And that's what Coach Jackson instills in all of his players, of the fact of just having fun while you're playing a game that you love. And everything else will take its place.
I agree with you. I mean, from a young man who played baseball growing up, I mean, that's what you want. That's the attitude you want to have when you're playing baseball. Go out there and have fun, you know. And like I said, I do agree with you. I feel like Jaguar baseball is back. So it's going to be fun in the SWAC come next baseball season with Texas Southern, Alabama State, Southern, and then, of course, the always improving Jackson State baseball program. You know, as these teams up the ante in the SWAC as far as, you know, competition. So, but we're almost out of time. One tidbit I wanted to talk about before we lift up out of here, the NBA Finals has started, and if you didn't watch Game 1, you missed a treat. The Golden State Warriors lost the first game, but we're not here to talk about the Warriors. We're talking about the HBCU alum that's going to be working the NBA Finals. That is Eric Lewis out of Bethune-Cookman University, and the husband of women's head basketball coach Vanessa Blair Lewis has been named one of the 12 referees who will officiate 2019 NBA Finals. The announcement was made on the 28th of May, just before Game 1. Lewis is one of two officials who will be working their first finals. The 15-year veteran served as an alternate last year. And for an official to be at the top at the finals, Lewis said in the video on the NBA officials' website, to make it here, it's a huge accomplishment and a huge goal for all the referees. Words cannot express how proud I am of my husband, Blair Lewis said, one of the best 12 in the NBA and officially in the white jacket, given to the officials assigned to work the playoffs. So we're going to have some HBCU flavor kills in the NBA Finals. Congratulations to referee Lewis.
In addition to Lewis refereeing, also have on the sidelines, there's a sideline reporter and also a morning anchor in Toronto, Grambling State University alumna Kayla Marie Williams, that is also going to be on the sidelines during the NBA Finals. So, you know, she in a little Raptor stuff, but anytime you see that, you got HBCUs represented on the sidelines. She's the reporter. He's refereeing. When you see that kind of momentum and you see that kind of stuff going on, you have to stop and remind people, look, we everywhere. We're everywhere. We are.
Yes, we are. And that's all I have for tonight's show. Kels, you want to close us out?
Well, it's been a great day. It's been a great weekend. Closing out, we're just looking forward to a lot of great things coming up. Now, we won't have the show next week. We will see where we're going to go from there. But as the season starts to wind down, we're getting ready to jump into football season, of course, coming up. And, of course, you'll talk about spring practices, the media days, and so on and so forth. But that's all I have.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for checking out the Black College Experience podcast again. We'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about more HBCU sports. And have a good night.